AITA for ruining my family's 1994 Thanksgiving dinner by calling out my aunt for selling my grandma's most prized possession, even though every other adult in the room begged me to stay quiet to keep the peace. I'd spent a week holding the truth in, but watching my confused, grieving grandma smile through my aunt's constant lies pushed me over the edge, and now my whole family is calling me selfish and ungrateful. It's 1994, I'm 22, fresh out of community college with a fashion design certificate, living in a tiny Ohio suburb. My grandma Marnie, 78, has silver curly hair always pinned with stray sewing needles, fingertips permanently dusted with thread wax, and ran a downtown tailor shop with my late grandpa for 30 years. That 1952 Singer sewing machine, the one he gave her when he proposed, was her whole world. She taught me to sew on it. I made every school project and portfolio piece on it. My Aunt Carol, 45, Dad's sister, lives in sequin tops and is drowning in Macy's credit card debt, scrambling to cover her tracks before Christmas. That Thanksgiving, the house reeked of roasted turkey, the CBS football game blared from the living room, and Grandma sat in her rocking chair, patting the empty side table where her machine usually sat, searching for it for the 7th time that day. A week before the dinner, I stopped by Grandma's house and found the machine gone. She was in tears, convinced she'd misplaced it, while Carol breezed in and said she'd dropped it off at the repair shop, waiting on a backordered part. I didn't buy it. I'd heard the bill collectors calling Carol nonstop for weeks. I rode my 10-speed over to Henderson's pawn shop, run by my old high school friend's dad, and he showed me the receipt. Carol had sold that Singer for $320, cash, the same day, to pay down her credit card balance. I raced home to tell my parents, and their faces dropped. They said the doctor had diagnosed Grandma with early-onset Alzheimer's. Her memory would only get worse, and Carol had promised to buy the machine back with her Christmas bonus. They begged me not to say a word at Thanksgiving, saying I'd ruin the holiday and break Grandma's heart for no reason. I wrestled with it all week. On one side, my family's desperate need for quiet. On the other, Grandma waking up every morning tearing through her closet for that machine. She couldn't remember what she'd eaten for breakfast, but she remembered that machine was the last thing Grandpa gave her. At dinner, Carol sat right next to her, repeating every 10 minutes that the part was in. The machine would be home next week. Grandma smiled, but I saw her wipe a tear with her napkin when Carol wasn't looking. Halfway through dinner, she grabbed my hand, leaned in, and whispered, "Lila, did I lose it? Did I let his gift slip away?" That's when every bit of my restraint snapped. I set down my fork, my voice loud enough to cut through the football game and the table chatter. "Carol, stop lying to her." The room went dead quiet. "You didn't send that sewing machine to get fixed. You sold it to Henderson's pawn shop for $320 to pay off your credit card debt. You've been lying to a woman who can barely remember her own birthday, just to save your own face." Carol's face flushed bright red, then drained white, and she started screaming that I was a jealous liar, but everyone at the table could see the truth in her shaky voice. Grandma's smile faded, and she started to cry, quiet and broken. Dinner was completely ruined. Everyone scattered within an hour, and my parents screamed at me for being selfish, for ruining the only holiday we all got together, for upsetting Grandma when she was already fragile. But the next morning, I took the $350 I'd saved up from my summer internship at the local fabric shop, rode my bike to the pawn shop, and brought that sewing machine home. Grandma held it like it was a newborn baby, and told me I was the only person who ever really listened to her. Months later, her memory fades in and out, but she still lights up every time she sees that machine. I still don't know if I made the right call. So AITA.